Everything's had a good clean out, and I need to stick my new fork seals in. Right, the new seals, same as most of the Triumph ones in this range, have got a little ridge on there, so I have got a driving tool which has got the little recess in there so it doesn't damage it. I think it's like 3D printed or something. That got it a while ago, but it works. Let's get it hammered in. Going in dry, baby. I think we're there. Just give it a couple more taps just to make sure. I think we're in. That's one done. Get the other one done. Easiest way I've found to put these together is just clamp the fork tube in the yoke, putting some lube on there. Again on the tube as well, on the seals and everything. Give them a head start. Spring on, bush on, and then you can screw that up and tighten that up without actually pinching the fork tube, because you've already got it nipped up in the headstock. One done. It's also worth noting that the stanchions have got a thinner end at the top. You won't get them back in the yokes if you don't put them in that way. Right, I've got new dowty washers. They need to go on the bottom of the piston mechanism bit where the screw goes in the bottom. And there is a little recess in the bottom of the tube. I'll stick a picture up that you can see, and the best way I've found is stick that up in the hole from underneath. Put the dowty washer on and just let it drop and wiggle it in. There we go, and it's gone straight in. I'll stick another picture up of that so you can see where it's gone. Right, you can use a bit of oil, but the manufacturer of the fork seals has sent me some little sachet of red rubber grease, so I might as well use that since they provided it. And we'll just stick a little bit in there just to help the fork stanchion sink in a bit better. A little bit of lube won't hurt. As I said, manufacturers have provided that, so should be okay to use. And we drop our stanchion in. Make sure there's no bits of rubbish on it. It's going down beautifully, that. It's all the way at the bottom. Next job, get the bolt back in the bottom. If we can get it. Yeah, that's taking. We'll torque that up. If you find that the whole internal gubbins of the fork start spinning when you try to tighten the nut up, I've made up a little thing, piece of threaded bar. I think of that I munched out about 1/4 inch. Basically drilled a hole through it, put a rivet pin through there and cut it off, and that basically stops in there, so you can actually drop it down and stop the piece from turning, and just put a bit of a handhold on the other end. Couldn't find any torque settings in the book, so I'm just going with a generic 20 foot-pound, so we know that we haven't over tightened it. Turn my torque wrench the other way around. Turning. There we go. One done. I took the plunge and I've forked out for some progressive springs. Forked out, that's a good joke, isn't it? As you can see, the one at the top was a progressive one. It's slightly longer than the original, so I won't need that little damper that somebody put in. Reading up on the internet and looking at some manufacturers' websites, the tighter end of the coil goes downwards. Now there's a lot of discussion on the net as well about altering oil levels and stuff, but to be honest, it ain't going to make any odds really, is it? Especially on an old high performance drive Bonneville. So let's get them in. There's a tight wound one down the bottom, and in we go. It's all the way down. Pull the fork tube up to about there. First bit, 190 cc's of oil. I am using the automatic transmission fluid that I always use on these, because that's what they say. And I also want to see what sort of difference these progressive springs make. So if I change the oil at the same time, I won't know which is which, will I? Annoyingly, I haven't got a 3/8 T-bar to do this with, or an adapter for my 1/2 inch drive one, so I'm just going to have to do it as best as I can. Some people go, oh, what you do, you turn it back 1/2 a turn and that. Yeah, you try doing that with a ratchet whilst you're doing it on the spring, and that's pissed as well.
One eternity later.
That got it. Finally. Apparently the book on these is wrong. Apparently it says 80 foot-pounds, but it's not, it's 15. So I'm led to believe. One done, one to go. Right, these can be a complete and utter ball ache to get on. I've put a little bit of red rubber grease on there just to help me, using something that's quite round. Let's try and get them into place.
3 hours later.
Oh, there we go. Draw that pissing about. Fingers does it. About right. Right, leave that bit compressed. We will get metal tie on. I like using these stainless ties rather than plastic because they just look a bit tidier, I think. Some people may disagree. We stick that bit on the inside. Use the tool. Sort of even there, yeah. Snap it off there. Job's a fish. That's going nowhere. That's one in.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
So as you've seen, I just split a gaiter putting that on. Fortunately, I had a couple of spare of the old dust caps. They'll have to do for now. I actually put them with the gaiters on because it protects the forks more, but it is what it is. Let's get that off. Just get the normal cap on, which is bloody annoying. Ah, come on. There we go. Arse biscuits. Give that a clean. And I forgot as well, once you got them back together and the oil in, give them a few squidges. Get the oil circulating a bit. Further go. Come on. Come on, you bugger. What I've done, after a bit of struggling around, a bit of grease in there, get rid of that. I've got the top of the fork stanchion level with the top of the yoke. I'll get the other one in, we'll get everything lined up. This one I managed to get in ever so slightly too far, so I'm just going to knock it down a little bit with a brass drift. There we go, that'll do. Top ones we're going to 20 foot-pound. And the bottom ones we'll do 25. Right, let's get the clocks back on. Not forgetting the little washer. These can be a pain in the hoop to line up, especially when you try to do it on camera and everybody's watching.
15 minutes later. Five minutes later.
I need to go mental with these, just enough to stop the clocks moving. Somebody's had a go at them as well with a pair of normal pipe grips. Beautiful. All yummers. Right, get the other one on.
1 minute later.
So a bit of a faff. I've got my clocks back in. I won't bore you with putting the wheel back on. I'll see you in a bit.
A few minutes later.
When you've had your front wheel out, remember to pump your brake. Make sure the piston is all the way to the disc and give it a spin. Yeah, that works. Happy days. So there we go. New stanchions in, forks refitted and everything. Everything looks to be okay. I've got to go around and double check all my fixings, make sure everything is tight. I need to readjust my clutch because I've had all of that out and realign the headlight. But that's for another day because it is now beer o'clock. Hopefully you found this helpful. Thanks for watching.